Each year, the Meritorious Conduct Board reviews recommendations for employee awards based on outstanding acts or performances in which a citizen or officer brings credit to the department or community. Today's presentation is to recognize these citizens and employees for their achievements and service to the Mesquite Police Department. The first award is the Citizen Certificate of Merit. The Citizen Certificate of Merit may be awarded to any citizen for outstanding service to the police department or for assistance to police personnel. Mr. Patrick Lee and Mr. RENE SANTILLAN, would you please come forward? On July 10, 2020, Mesquite police officers were in pursuit of a stolen vehicle when the vehicle came to a stop, allowing 2 occupants to flee from the vehicle. Citizens flagged down officers to relay the direction the suspects ran. Patrick Lee chased one of the suspects, ordered him to the ground, and waited with him until Officer R. Anderson took the suspect into custody. Patrick was also able to tell responding officers where the second suspect jumped a fence. This led to the capture of the second fleeing suspect hiding in bushes. The driver of the stolen vehicle was able to elude officers and park at a nearby apartment complex in Dallas. Citizen RENE SANTILLAN observed officers in pursuit of the black Honda Accord earlier and noticed it when it entered the apartment complex. RENE then flagged down officers pointing to the vehicle. Officers then observed the suspect driver fleeing from the parked vehicle. A foot chase began through the apartment complex. RENE ran the opposite direction around the building and was able to cut off the fleeing suspect's avenue of escape. He briefly grabbed hold of the suspect, which gave the pursuing officers time to catch up and take the suspect into custody. The Mesquite Police Department is proud to award the Citizen Certificate of Merit to Patrick Lee and RENE SANTILLAN.
Mr. Lee, Mr. Santillan, on behalf of the people of Mesquite and the entire City Council, thank you for making a difference and being a blessing to our community. Thank you so much, both of you. Thank you, guys.
Our next awards are for the Life-Saving Bar and Certificate of Merit. The Life-Saving Bar may be awarded to any employee for the saving of a human life or prolonging a human life to the extent the victim was released to the care of medical authorities. The Certificate of Merit is to be awarded to police employees for outstanding or superior performance in any assignment over a prolonged period. Such performance is to be clearly defined as exceptional, placing them well above other officers or civilians of equal rank or grade. Officer Nathan Snyder, would you please come forward? Officer Corey Wilson could not be here today. On February 9, 2020, Officers Nathan Snyder and Corey Wilson were dispatched to an assist fire call in response to an overdose. Upon arrival at the location, officers encountered the victim, who was unconscious and not breathing. A family friend was performing CPR. Officer Snyder took over CPR procedures until the paramedics arrived. Officer Wilson gathered information regarding medication and investigated what occurred prior to their arrival from the victim's daughter. Although a known methamphetamine user who had abused pills in the past, the victim gave no indication of wanting to harm herself. Paramedics transported the victim to Dallas Regional Hospital. In a follow-up investigation, Detective Barrett contacted Dallas Regional Hospital and revealed that the victim recovered and was released from the hospital. The Mesquite Police Department is proud to award the Life-Saving Award to Officer Nathan Snyder and a Certificate of Merit to Officer Corey Wilson.
Officer Snyder, for being a blessing to this resident, for your heroic actions. On behalf of the entire City Council and all the people of Mesquite, we're so proud of you and your service. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you. Officer Kenneth Barber, would you please come forward? Officer Sparling and MIEGAL were not able to attend today. On December 30th, 2019, Officers Barber, Sparling, and MIEGAL were dispatched to a shooting where they observed the victim lying in the street in front of a business. Officer Sparling and Barber located 2 gunshot wounds to the victim's upper body. Officer Barber took a chest seal from the trauma kit he retrieved from his squad car. Officer Sparling placed the chest seal over the wound. Officer MIEGAL arrived and noticed another wound requiring a chest seal. Officer MIEGAL then began cutting the shirt off the victim to attempt to locate other wounds. When paramedics arrived, Officer MIEGAL provided information on the victim's wounds and procedures undertaken by the officers. Before transporting the victim to Baylor Hospital, one of the paramedics complimented the officers on their efforts. Follow-up investigation revealed the victim recovered and was released from the hospital. The Mesquite Police Department is proud to award the Life-Saving Awards to Officer Barber, Sparling, and MIEGAL.
Officer Barber, for being a blessing to this individual who will never forget you the rest of their life, and for your heroic efforts. On behalf of the entire City Council and all the people of Mesquite, we are so proud of you. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next award is for the Certificate of Merit. The Certificate of Merit is to be awarded to police employees for outstanding or superior performance in any assignment over a prolonged period. Such performance should be clearly defined as exceptional, placing them well above other officers or civilians of equal rank or grade. Officer Richard Houston, would you please come forward? On October 14th, 2020, Garland Police Department pursued a stolen vehicle and trailer into Mesquite where the suspects drove the wrong way on I-635 and then abandoned the stolen vehicle in a grassy area. Mesquite officers joined in the foot pursuit after 3 suspects. DPS 101 helicopter was overhead assisting officers with the movement of the suspects. The suspects' crime spree continued when they held a citizen at gunpoint to steal his vehicle. When they couldn't get the keys to work, one of the suspects shot the citizen's vehicle. Shortly after, 2 of the suspects were captured. The 3rd suspect, who was the shooter, fired multiple shots at the helicopter, which caused the call of shots fired to be transmitted over the radio. More officers converged on the scene. The 3rd suspect had entered a large drainage pipe. Officer Houston was one of several officers who were positioned to communicate with the suspect. Officer Houston could see the suspect holding a gun to his head and appeared agitated. Officer Houston was able to communicate with him, calming him down and assuring him that no one wanted to harm him. The suspect eventually surrendered to Officer Houston. Several Garland officers and a lieutenant communicated that Officer Houston's professionalism, patience, and precise communication directly led to the surrender of the suspect, who had committed 2 separate shootings. Officer Houston's actions demonstrated outstanding performance of his duties under unusual, complicated, or hazardous conditions, and his actions reflected well upon the Mesquite Police Department. The Mesquite Police Department is proud to award the Certificate of Merit to Officer Richard Houston.
Officer Houston, for being a blessing to this individual and for your heroic efforts. On behalf of the entire City Council and all the people of Mesquite, we are so proud of you and thank you for your dedicated service, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We would now like to recognize the Civilian of the Year. Christy Russell, would you please come forward? Christy Russell is a 20-year veteran of the Mesquite Police Department working as a public safety dispatcher. Over the years, Christy has proven to be one of the most knowledgeable and conscientious members of the communications team. She rejoined the dispatch training team and is recognized as a kind, compassionate, and patient trainer with all her rookies. She has worked to set milestones in the NCIC console and is currently working on setting milestones for the other consoles, enabling the training coordinator to assess when trainees are ready to move to the next phase of training. Christy has devoted herself to learn all topics concerning NCIC. She prepared all the necessary documents and made herself available to assist for the TCIC audit. The auditor commended MPD on the level of organization, and it was all due to the tireless work ethic of Christy Russell. She has been recognized with the Service Champion Award in 2009 and 2016, Certificate of Merit in 2008, and was selected by her coworkers as the 2014 Dispatcher of the Year. Based on her personal and professional characteristics, Christy is emerging as a first-class public safety dispatcher and is definitely one of Mesquite's finest. The Mesquite Police Department is proud to recognize Christy Russell with the Civilian of the Year Award for 2020.
Ms. Russell, you and your colleagues who work in dispatch, you are the first line of hope for those citizens who may be at their most vulnerable or difficult position in life. You are talking to folks who may be sometimes in the worst position of their life when they call. So it's clear to me that you've done more than just handle the technical details of your work, that you've obviously provided and set the example for empathy, sympathy, and compassion for our residents when they need us the most. So on behalf of the entire City Council and all the people of Mesquite, we're so very proud of you. Thank you for your service. There you are, ma'am.
Christy, would you like to make any comments?
I'm honored to be receiving the Civilian of the Year Award. I'm grateful for the recognition I've received for my work and want to thank my supervisor, Cindy Meyer, for the recommendation, the Meritorious Conduct Board, City Council, Mayor Archer, Chief Aborg, and City Manager Kahili for the presentation. I want to thank my fellow dispatchers and supervisors for working tirelessly and inspiring me with their commitment to our department and the community we serve. I'd also like to thank my family, especially my husband Mark, for his encouragement and for participating in seemingly endless discussions about training and dispatch. I've watched this job evolve over the last 20 years of my career and have sought ways to enhance our understanding of changing tools and procedures. I believe that we can best serve the citizens of Mesquite by continuously striving to improve. I look forward to helping my teammates with the ongoing development of the training program to advance our dispatch center. Thank you.
Finally, we would like to recognize the recipient of the Sergeant H. Kent Tyler Officer of the Year Award. Dustin CHAUTIN, would you please come forward? Officer Dustin CHAUTIN joined the Mesquite Police Department almost 14 years ago. He learned his craft in patrol and quickly developed a reputation of being a highly proactive officer who could easily detect criminal activity. This work ethic led to his selection as a property crimes investigator. He rapidly became one of that unit's top performers. His selection for an opening in the narcotics unit was no surprise, and he swiftly learned the skill set needed for his new assignment. Officer CHAUTIN has been the lead investigator in multiple high-level and complex narcotics trafficking investigations, which were adopted by the DEA and prosecuted at the federal level. The most recent case resulting in the arrest and pending federal indictment of 17 individuals and the seizure of 81 firearms, over $600,000 in currency, and thousands of pounds of illegal narcotics. Officer CHAUTIN has consistently performed his duties at the highest level and is always willing to assist his co-workers with whatever task is needed to accomplish the mission of the Mesquite Police Department and protecting our citizens of Mesquite. Officer CHAUTIN was selected by a committee composed of fellow officers and departmental supervisors to receive this award. The Mesquite Police Department is proud to honor Officer Dustin CHAUTIN with the Sergeant H. Kent Tyler Officer of the Year Award for 2020.
Officer CHAUTIN, I knew Kent Tyler, and we know that he was a dedicated public servant and an excellent police officer. And so to receive an award in his name tells me that you've done more than just show up for work each day and done your job. Clearly, you have made a difference in fighting crime and making our citizens safer. So on behalf of the entire City Council and all the people of Mesquite, we thank you for your dedicated service. God bless you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
I'd like to present this to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dustin, would you like to make a few comments?
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's truly an honor to represent this organization of selfless men and women and receive this award, which is named after Kent Tyler. Sergeant Tyler was the example of what it means to be a leader, a police officer, and a man. I've been an officer in Mesquite since 2007. Being a cop is something I wanted to do as a kid. And I mean, who didn't like playing cops and robbers growing up? This job definitely has its ups and downs, but we take pride in and love what we do for the community. Having the support of our citizens, city leadership, and departmental leadership makes it easy to enjoy coming to work on a daily basis. This award shouldn't be an individual award. It's a reflection of the 5 men that I work with on a daily basis. They're professionals. We work long hours and to accomplish our mission with a positive attitude. And we're led by Sergeant Trokel, who is a true servant leader. I think we probably spend more time together than with our families, so I'd like to thank my family for being supportive and understanding. There's a lot of late nights and early mornings. My wife works full-time. She takes care of our household and our kids while I'm here chasing bad guys and fulfilling my childhood dreams. The last 13 years have been great, and I look forward to at least 13 more. Thank you.
This concludes our presentation today. At this time, I would like to thank City Manager Cliff Cahealy, Mayor Bruce Archer, and the City Council members for allowing us to have this setting to honor our officers and civilians, not only in front of our peer group, but in front of the community as well. Thank you.